Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Blue State 2A. This episode is going to be about how I went about getting my CCW. One of the first things I did was go and take a gun safety course. It's a requirement in the state of Connecticut. You go there, it might be a 5 to 8 hour class. The class I took, it was an excellent instructor. He emphasized safety. He went hard about it. After the class, I believe we took a test. It's not 100% sure, but I know him and his wife, they prepared a packet for us, and it was pertaining to, depending on what town you were in, the packet was critiqued for that particular town, and he kind of gave you a rundown what to expect with the town that you were from. So, but after that, we went and met up at the range, and we had to show, like, some safety acumen and put a couple of rounds on target. And after that, we was pretty much done. You got your packet, and the next step was that you had to fill out some documentation that was in there. I believe it was DPS-799-C. I think that's your actual application for your concealed carry. There was some tracking numbers on that form where you went to a website. You had to input it, and that's how you got your the information. Meet with your detective, and you brought them the $70 money order or check, and you did your fingerprint, your background check. The detective I had, she was adamant about being a two-way supporter, and that she basically just told me, like, as long as you pass your background check, you shouldn't have an issue when it comes to actual getting your concealed carry license. So I think the biggest hurdle I had in pertaining to that issue is that I live in Connecticut, but I work in New York, so I had to get there. I work a 9 to 5, so I had to get there during work hours in order to meet with the detective, and they had no available time on the weekends. Or they didn't do any of those things for you. It's either you make it there during the scheduled time, or you don't. The other issue was, then I think I also just had got a new position at work, so I was like, started probation. I had to speak to my boss in order to get to that appointment in a timely manner. After that, you get a temporary license. So you take all your documentation that you gathered, birth certificate, the application, and the certificate from the training, and you take that all down to, what is this place, the Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection Division. That's the state police. They have like 3 different locations you could go to. You take that down there. You have to fill out this card. It's a DPS-46-C card. So you fill that out with your information. You bring all your documentations. For some reason, they had us do the little passport photos, but from what I remember, I remember saying to myself, like, I ain't had to do this, because they took your picture right there at the spot, and after you do that, you got your concealed carry license. I can't remember if they gave it to you right there on the spot, or if you got it in the mail, but I definitely know that that afterwards you can go out and go purchase a gun. They kind of tell you that. The funniest thing, I think even the detective said that once you get your temporary card, your background check came back, and that now you can go get your what's the name? And then you had like a certain amount of time that your temporary ID was valid for. So, I mean, all reality, even my trainer, he told me it was only going to be like 2 to 4 weeks. Like that, particular town I was in, it was pretty fast when it come to getting your concealed carry and everything like that. The background check came. They basically told you, like, the longest part of it is actually going to be your background check. And he was 100% right. And then, like I said, the only hindrance was me making it to the appointment in a timely manner, because of the fact that I worked I still work in New York. But that leads me to another thing. My next thing is gonna be to get my concealed carry non-residential in New York City, not New York State. Let's not confuse the two because they're very distinct things. You can get your concealed carry in New York State, but you will not be able to conceal carry in New York City. So in order to conceal carry in the whole state of New York, you need to get your concealed carry in New York City. New York City is very strict from what I hear, and they don't play no games. I've heard horror stories of people saying it's taking them at least a year to actually get their license. I know for certain you have to have 5 letters of reference, and I don't think that they can be family members. I think they have to be like, people more than 2 years, whatever the case may be. The other thing that you have to do is that, so the license for CT probably altogether was at most $400, at least $280. I think the class itself might have been the most expensive part of it. It was $140 or $140 to $180 something dollars for the class, and then the fingerprinting was $70, and then the actual license was another $70. So that's $140 plus $140, so that's $280. New York is a whole different beast, and that's probably the only reason I haven't gotten a license as of yet, is because the application fee itself is $300 and something dollars. I think maybe $350 or more. The class is like $300 to $500. $70 for your fingerprint. So we like almost at $1,000, whatever, to get your license in New York, and it might take a year, and you might not even actually get it. Like that. I mean, from what I've heard they have gotten better, and I've even met people who actually had their license. But the people who I met who had their license, they didn't. I didn't get a chance to ask them how long the process took because our conversation was based on the license, but it wasn't in that aspect of it because they were instructors. So as you can see, I'm already been inquiring. I'm already been doing my research and my homework. But this time, I'm engaged in this whole content creating thing. So I will be bringing you guys with me, through the process. I'm gonna try to get as much footage and as much info as I can, because I want to be able to help other people in this process. Like the name hints, I'm very pro 2A. I just believe in responsible gun ownership. I think a lot of times when it comes to red versus blue states, I think a lot of times they have this, and it might be more so not about the people, maybe just the politicians, and that's a whole nother animal to talk about. But in all reality, I think all of America believes in the Second Amendment, as well as we believe in the freedom of speech. So I am definitely in the 2A community, and I want everybody to be able to get they concealed carry if they are going to be responsible adults and responsible gun owners. So, like I said before, follow me along on my journey. I appreciate you guys. I want you guys to share your experiences, the state you come from, help others out how you went about getting your concealed carry, and share your journeys.